We are with MedTech Women Royalty. Here's Nicole Osmer. You've been here since the beginning, yes?
Yes, I have, since the very beginning.
Yeah, so we're here at MedtechVISION 23. And how many does that make for you that you've been at?
All 11, yes.
So, wow, I didn't expect you to say all of them. Okay, so let's roll with that. So considering where you were and where we are, I gotta think there's an intense amount of pride in the way this has grown. Let's start with what was it like in the beginning? What was the first one like?
You know, you were just talking about consistency, and it has been consistent from the very beginning in terms of the quality of the panels, the quality of the speakers, bringing in the patient keynote. It's been incredible to see this group of women come together year after year and also evolve. There are so many new people this year that haven't been to the MedTech Women event in previous years, but just how beloved it has become as a sort of institution amongst the MedTech community, and that has been consistent throughout the years from the very beginning. We knew there was something special about what the group had put together.
Can you put your finger on it? Do you know what it is?
I think it's that it's a supportive community and a community focused on solving problems and exploring solutions and just reconnecting. You know, obviously it began well before the pandemic, but just the opportunity to see people in person and, you know, to really bring your network to life, make connections, introduce people. That's just really an incredible part of the organization and its purpose. And I know from being a part of the original organizing team and seeing the survey results after the meetings that we've had previously, a big part of the reason that people come is to see and meet other people in the industry. So it's really been a force of, you know, bringing together people in a way that's unique and different and kind of outside of their normal day jobs, but just creates a lot of happy reunions and new connections.
I think that's what, it's funny. Someone asked me that. I was trying to explain to someone outside of the industry. And I said, there's no booths.
Right.
There's no people hawking their products. There's none of that. It's all just folks that want to share time together and share experience. Because as kind and as gracious and as fun as it is, it's also really impactful and academic. And there's information that will change your life that's come from the ones that I've seen. And it's very hard to straddle that particular line. To be serious and entertaining at the same time is pretty rare.
Right.
Do you think that's intentional? That's just organic and that's just the organization?
I think there's been an element of fun from the beginning as well, an element of openness, you know, across. There's people who, you know, are at different stages of their careers, from just veterans and leaders. Like I just ran into Maria Sains in the hall here. She interviewed me for my first job.
Is that right?
More than 20 years ago. And to have the opportunity, and now she's a client of ours, so to have the opportunity to learn from and see, you know, people that have inspired you throughout your career is really special, and to hear a little bit more about their journeys. So we had the first year, and unfortunately we did not videotape the first year's panels, which is unfortunate because the very first year, Farrellyn Powell was on a panel speaking about her journey to becoming a CEO. And it was just so inspiring and funny and just wonderful to hear about that in a way that, you know, you don't really hear directly from leaders in our industry about their own personal journeys, things they've had to overcome, self-doubts, or, you know, how do you advance through your career progression or bringing a new product to market, or, you know, just all of the incredible panelists we've had over the years that then we see attending as sponsors or speakers or again, or just, you know, attendees to the conference. So That's great. I mean, last night Lisa Earnhardt was here. She's been a speaker, also someone that, we've all seen kind of progress to a really impressive leadership position. And some of the people that are speakers or just organizers of MedTech Women, being able to follow their careers and kind of reconnect with them on a yearly basis is great. And last night I said to Deb Kilpatrick, actually this morning, thank you for creating this annual reunion for all of us, because this is fantastic. And I'm so happy to be able to come here. And actually, I was not supposed to be here. I thought I was going to have to miss this year's conference, and at the end of the day was able to come. And I'm so glad that I'm here, because it is just such a gratifying experience to be here. So I'm really grateful.
Great word. I've been trying to find the right way to describe this, and that's what it is. But it's interesting that there's this core of individuals like you that make up the strength of this, but yet, you mentioned earlier, half the crowd in there are first-timers, which
it's
is
so
really fascinating
open.
how that
Yes.
worked out. Because you can see that there's a bit of a shift with it, and that's a good thing, because it's just a matter of time before it's handed over to the next generation.
Yep.
And you all have done a great job. So in your world, are you able to bring other women with you? Because I know your organization has grown quite a bit. So talk a bit about that, because I know that's what you work for.
Yeah, absolutely. My entire team would love to be here. But yeah, last year I brought 2 of my team members who loved it and had a great time. And this year I brought someone else on my team, and she told me this morning, I'm coming back every year. So yeah, it's great. It's awesome to be able to share it with people.
And then they tell people, and that's how it spreads. All these people that were first-timers walk out, and they say, how was it? Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because everyone here has the same goal, which is to make sure that you come back next year. And that seems to be the mentality. The experience that they're shooting for is, what did you take away, what's actionable, and when are you signing up for next year? And I don't know if that's the way you look at it, but that's the way it feels to me, is we're already talking about 24 with this.
Yeah. It was never the option to not do it again. That was never an option. And it's entirely run. I mean, we do have one executive director, Lynette, who's wonderful.
Yep.
But for years, and it continues to be entirely run by volunteers who organize the panels, sponsors that step up to support it. So it really is a labor of love for a lot of people.
Curious what you thought about the topic. I mean, it's a bit edgy, and I'm curious, when you first heard it, what were your thoughts?
I was excited. I learned something every year. I think our speakers were really powerful this year. I really enjoyed hearing the different perspectives. And on the last panel, for example, it perfectly set up the panel that we're going to be talking about next on ROI, because at the end of the day, this is a for-profit industry, and that's important to, the health of our industry and of innovation. And I think there's some big problems that we're trying to solve that are very big problems that we don't always have all the answers to, but I think the willingness to be a part of the solution, and to outline the problems and to educate ourselves around what the issues are and whether they're relatively small or big systemic problems. That discussion needs to happen, because it's easy for all of us to, I think, be kind of heads down in our little corner of the world, but to really think bigger and cross-pollinate ideas is really critical. And I think today has been a great example of that.
Well, look, I've seen this show before, as far as the people up there, and you've got the right folks asking the questions. And what's great about them is they're not going to stop until they get the answers that they know is needed. Not just that they want, but they know what's best for the investment world, what's best for the patient, what's best for the physician, what's best for the hospital, what's best for the FDA. Like, they know.
Right.
And now it's just a matter of making it actionable. But the right players are here, and that's what's so great about this, is because the takeaway from this is going to be a tangible impact on the industry.
Yes, I agree. It will be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole Osmer, you are on the Mount Rushmore of MedTech Women.
Oh, thank you. Well, I am just grateful to have been on speed dial for Deb and Amy when they first, had the idea, and it's been really wonderful to be a part of such an incredible organization in a small way, many times, and other times a bigger way. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be here.
Well,
Thank you
I'm
for
sure
your
they're glad
support
to have
too,
you.
Matt.
Of course, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Matt.